Welcome, lady lads and gentle lads, to the first episode of the Flashpoint DLC playthrough. I'm Smastian, and I'll be your host for this series. Those of you who know me from the Road to Atlas series, welcome back. Those of you who don't know about the Road to Atlas series, I'll be leaving an annotation and a link in the comments or in the description below. Feel free to check that out at any time you please. And with that little introduction out of the way, let's get started on the new career mode of BattleTech. Before, all you had to choose from were campaign and skirmish, where a campaign basically forced you to play through the storyline and then take side quests on the side, whereas the career mode now is, well, it's more or less just the side quests from the campaign, but there is a built-in goal, among new content as well, so we'll be getting to all of that quite soon. Before that, however, we need to set up our difficulty settings. By default, we're set to Ironman mode, and we're of course going to stay in Ironman mode. Those of you who've watched the Road to Atlas series know that, well, we've been playing a much more difficult game up until this point, so I'm feeling rather cocky, and I think we're going to go for max difficulty on the Flashpoint playthrough, which I may have called Frontline just mere moments ago, so do forgive me that. I have the two mixed up in my mind for some reason, and I can't really help it. We're going to start with unequipped mechs. What this means is that once we reassemble a mech, we don't get any parts that come with it. It's all we're assembling is the various um, pieces of the mech. That is to say, the arms, the torso, the head, and so on and so forth. And additionally, we're going to be taking the 8 parts needed for mech assembly. As in RogueTech, it started to be towards the end of the game that taking, having the salvage settings to be 5 parts for mech assembly meant that towards the end of the game we were assembling mechs much more easily than we were at the beginning. Which did sort of take a bit of the fun out of the game, but at the same time, I may be just shooting myself in the foot with this setting, but whatever. Additionally, we're going to enable hard enemy force strength, rare advanced mech warriors in the hiring hall, permanent mech destruction if we happen to lose a core torso in combat. I'm not sure if. Hold on a moment. When activating this setting, will cause any mech disabled by the destruction of its center torso to be lost permanently. Yeah, okay. I was wondering if ejecting out would also ensure the loss of your mech, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Intuitively, it shouldn't be the case, but in RogueTech, that was a possibility. Contract payment is going to be stingy. Salvage rights, likewise stingy. Mech warrior progression, very slow. No rare salvage. I'm actually going to leave this off. I feel that leaving it or turning a no rare salvage on, thus preventing us from ever salvaging plus rated weaponry, would be a bit of a problem. I mean, if it's on the field, we should be able to salvage it, is my justification for leaving this off. And lethality. Mech warriors that are incapacitated in combat will always be killed. We're going to leave this off as well. I think it'll be pretty I think it'll be more amusing to have the possibility of seeing otherwise dead mech warriors potentially survive a core torso hit. And something that the RogueTech people may have forgotten is just how differently the vanilla game plays to the modded game. So I think I'll leave lethality off. Give people a chance to come back from the dead, so to speak. Alright, so here we are in the character creation screen finally, which has been drastically sort of reduced from its former campaign origins. They've removed all of the fluff text detailing all of the folk you met that led you up to the point you were at the beginning of the campaign. And all you're left with is to choose which faction your family came from, and what you did after your 16th birthday, and then when you struck out on your own, whatever the hell you did. Either way, we already, in the RogueTech series, started out as a original citizen of House Davian, which then changed his identity in order to gain citizenship in the Lyran Commonwealth to start another mercenary company so that he could avoid tax collectors from the Federated Sons. Mostly because the first 3 episodes of the RogueTech series were a bit of a dud in terms of the equipment we got and the mechs we got. But no matter. Since we've already played as both of these factions technically, I think I'll choose this time to start as a, well, citizen originally of House Kurita, i.e. the Draconis Combine. Until after my 16th birthday, when I'm... What am I going to choose? We already took the Betrayed trait back in RogueTech. And if we want to be playing optimally, we would take this or the Exiled trait in order to give us a bonus to gunnery. But I think, for the interests of amusement, I'm going to pull up a random number generator, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay, so from among these 5 options, set the min value to 1, max value to 5. I'm going to generate a random number, and whatever it falls on, that is going to be my first stat. Number 4. Really? Are we serious now? Just 2 out of 3. 5. Striking out on our own. Bonus to piloting and tactics. There we go. That should be more amusing. Although, really, I do want to take the Exiled trait, but I'll give it one more roll. 1. So to choose from between 1, 4, and 5. Family died in an accident gives us piloting and guts. Optimally, we would choose gunnery and tactics. But I think I'll go with the piloting and tactics. Striking out on my own sounds like a good time. That's actually a bit of a fitting continuation off of the RogueTech series in a sort of quasi-canonical way. No matter. For the next one, we're also going to use a random number generator. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's unlock the phone again. Choose from between 1 and 6. We're going to generate, again, this time we're only going to generate twice. And from those 2, we're going to pick 1. So, first number is 3. Second number is 6. Okay. Either an Inner Sphere Mercenary, giving us another bonus to Tactics, or a Regan Coalition Soldier. This is where the missing gunnery skill would come in. But a part of me thinks it would be amusing to take Tactics. And given that we're already a member of a mercenary company, or we're about to be, I think, this is somewhat fitting. So we'll stick with this. We're not playing optimally yet, but whatevs. Frag Fang Roach. Oh boy, Fang made it in. uh, no, we're going to randomize this. Um, the call sign naturally is going to be Smastian. First name, first off, let's change our pronouns. And so we're going to randomize our name. Marquise Hovhannissian. Sure. Or Hovhannissian. I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Well, no matter. Okay, and so from the random faces available to us, I think this one's the most fitting so far. We are going to customize it a little bit. Change the camera angle. Sure, pudgy cheeks and all. Complexion can stay the way it was. Maybe. That. We'll stick with this one. Expression. Let's go for something a bit more mellow. Not entirely sure what I should take. Maybe a different random one. What would be a good one to take from in here? There we go. I think this is the one I usually use to start out anyway. So, from here, turn that down to 1. This scar is more in line with my actual facial appearance. Where's the hairstyle I want? There we go. Eyebrows can stay the way they are. Facial hair, same thing. Expression. Yeah, a bit of a mellow look like that. Yeah, we'll go with this. Complexion stays the way it is. Let's darken things up a little bit, hair-wise. And not exactly what I'm looking for. There we go, much better. Eyes, I think we're going to change the color to something a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Clothing-wise, which one am I going to go with? I think standard brown and green. Should be fine. And there we go. Lighting's all set up. There we are. Marquise Hovhannissian. Or Hovhannissian. Sure. With that, character created, let's see our mercenary company. Or, first we have a text blurb to read, apparently. A mercenary's career. You have everything an industrious mercenary commander could want. A crew of talented misfits, a lance of ancient battle mechs, and a derelict cargo ship to call home. It's one thing to finish a mission in one piece, more or less, but it's another to keep your mech warriors happy and healthy, your mechs patched up and ready for action, and your balance sheet firmly in the black. As the rumors of another succession war intensify, the Mercenary Review Board announces new evaluation protocols to assess the mercenary companies of the periphery, with a score. So going into that, this is probably the biggest change about the career mode. This is your end goal. Within 1,200 days, try to maximize this score as much as possible. Currently, our score starts out at 37,249. How are these all calculated? Okay, C-bills. For each 10,000 C-bills earned over your entire career, you gain 1 point. So, cool, this is a global number. It doesn't mean we have to have that much in the bank at once, but we just have to, at some point, this will be the million place value, I guess. So 800 million. At some point, so long as we earn a global 800 million across the career, we max that out. Contracts-wise, how do we get points in there? For each contract completion, you gain 50 points per point of difficulty of the contract, so I'm assuming that's going to be going by half skulls. And if that is the case, full skull is going to net you 100 points. And 5 skulls should be getting you 500 points. Okay. 500 points for a max difficulty contract. Mech chassis. For each unique chassis in your mech bay or cargo hold, you earn 1,273 points. What the hell kind of a number is that? Why? Why does it have to be such an unnecessarily complicated number? No matter. I guess it's basically going to be a case of catch 'em all, Pokemon style. And if I'm reading this correctly, we can't sell chassis. We actually have to keep them in our inventory for the sake of this score. Mech weight class completion. For each weight class of mech for which you've collected every unique chassis, you gain a bonus of 10,000 points per weight class completed. Okay, so it's just a free 10,000 points per weight class. Mech chassis completion. For collecting one of each unique chassis in the game, you gain a bonus of 25,000 points. Okay. So long as you max this number, you get an extra 25,000 on top of that. For free. Okay, cool. MechWarrior experience. For each 100 points of experience earned by a pilot currently in your barracks, you gain 2 points. Your commander does not live in the barracks and does not count towards the score. So what's the point of having the commander, then? Fine, I guess I don't have to see combat. Whatever. Star systems visited. For each star system you visit, you gain 500 points. Oh boy. I can see this being a bit grindy. So what does that divide down into? How many star systems would we have to visit? 85,000... Well, we can... Huh. $170. Okay. 170 star systems to visit. Fantastic. Star system completion. For visiting every star system in game, you get free 25,000 points. Positive faction reputation. For each point of positive reputation with any faction, you gain 100 points. For each point of negative reputation with any faction, you also get 100 points. Who do we start out in the negative with? Interesting. I guess I'll have to check that out in the captain's quarters later. Faction reputation completion. For each faction with whom your reputation is at the maximum or minimum value, you gain a bonus of 50,000 points. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Argo upgrades. For each completed Argo upgrade, you get 2,000 points, and you start off with, like, base 5 completed, so there's your free early 10,000. Argo completion, oh look, it's another free 25,000 points for getting everything. Morale. For each point of morale, you gain 500 points. I assume this basically just takes the current value and gives you 500 points for it. Which would make sense. 12,500 off of this. So if we just max this out, we get 25,000 points for free. That's not going to be too difficult. Mercenary Review Board Reputation. For each point of Mercenary Review Board Reputation, you gain 45 points. Okay. I guess this is going to be the points here, not according to the stars you have. And once you get to the max, you get another free 25,000 points. Cool. So those are the goals we're going to be striving to accomplish to raise that number as high as possible. Now, reputation-wise, everyone thinks we're garbage, more or less. I'm not sure how to feel about this, but whatever. I suppose it's fine. Now, in terms of company customization, let's start off with choosing an emblem. I don't think we get to choose the unicorn this time around. It doesn't seem to be available to us. Yeah, that was part of the mod pack. We can't be unicorn boys. So what are we going to choose? Planetary dog tag? Is that a thing we're interested in? I think I'm gonna go with a hammer. Actually, no. There we go. White ponies. We can do it. We have the means. And we're going to change the company name for the time being. Naturally, if anyone wants to have the company renamed in their honor, I'm more than willing to do that. For now, however, it's going to be Smastian's Hussars, as before. I do hope that someone eventually puts forward a new name for it. And until then, this is just going to be the work in progress title. Now, color scheme wise, last time around we chose a pretty atrocious combination of aquamarine, or sorry, no, teal, pink, and orange highlights. This time around, what are we going to choose instead? We could still go teal and pink. Be awful to look at, so, I'm going to give it a pass. Color scheme wise, I'm going to leave it open to audience suggestions as well. But I suppose the working color scheme is going to be red, a sort of a silvery white with purple accents? Sure. There we go. Now, let's take a look at the engineering bay. As always, I think the first thing anyone should be taking here is repair and refit. Largely because, it just makes life so much easier for you, just additional 2 tech points. And this is no longer the RogueTech mod where you get access to additional repair bays with every additional purchase of a mech bay. All the mech bay does is lets you support up to 12 battle mechs, or an additional 6 battle mechs, gives you some additional tech points, but you only can repair 1 mech at a time. So repair scaffolding it is.
I'll get the crew moving.
Now, the second, by the way, upgrade is going to be training modules, because those are valuable as hell. What do we need for that? Repaired power conduits. So that's going to be a bit further on down the road, but we'll manage. And what do we start out with? I think everyone starts out with the same default lance. A Vindicator, a Jenner, a Commando, a Spider, and a Panther. Let's quickly check out what these things have. The Panther has SRM-4s in the center torso, a PPC, and that's it. Before we go into combat, is there any way that I can make this thing more survivable? Ostensibly, yes. Currently, we don't have any weapons or equipment at our disposal, so I think the Panther will have to stay as it is. It is more or less a medium mech. I mean, it is the heaviest light mech you ever have access to. But it more or less has the sort of armor you'd expect of a medium. It's also about as slow as one. And this is one of your lighter medium mechs, a Vindicator. This thing's armed with a PPC, a medium laser, an LRM-5, and a short or small laser. Okay. Has 4 jump jets, a bunch of heat sinks. Yeah, I'm not going to touch this too much. It is acceptable as it is. Now the Jenner is a light mech that needs more armor than it currently has. Especially given that it's boating a couple of medium lasers. So if we want that to continue to be a thing, I'm going to drop the SRMs. I am going to max armor on the torso, or arms and torsos, at least up to 60. And another benefit of the vanilla game is that we no longer have to pay for armor refits. It happens for free! Well, I mean, some slight pricing adjustment, but that's just to take off the 2 components we took off. Aside from that, we can just pump armor as high as we want to on this thing. Max the head armor, we don't want to be dying to unnecessary headshots. Additional rear armor, let's bring you up to 30 across the rear. 70, okay. Let's bring the legs up to 60, and that puts us a bit over. Okay. How about this, then? Bring the center torso up to 60 and 65. All around, we have fairly good numbers on this mech for armor, so yeah, this will be good.
Logged and job's done, Commander.
Sure, we dropped some short-range missiles, but I think that's more than made up for by just being able to boat the medium lasers properly. Though this thing isn't going to be the most heat stable, so at some point I'm going to have to throw heat sinks into this and drop some armor. Either that or maybe put the SRMs back in and drop 2 of the lasers. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Refits are going to be much cheaper and quicker than they are in RogueTech, by the way, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, here we have a commando. Liking the sort of paint scheme on it. And this boy's armed with a large laser, a medium laser, an SRM-2 with some SRM ammo. Heat efficiency isn't too horrible. But again, I'm going to drop the missiles in favor of maxing the armor. Yeah, I don't think we need that much leg armor, really. Although, given that all of our weapons are just in the arms, that is a problem. The arms are weaker than I'd like them to be. But I guess we'll have to deal. So long as we keep the legs intact, we can just melee things. No problems there. You know, I'm going to leave these at 50 and just max rear armor out as much as we can go. 60 all around on the front, 40 in the arms, 50 in the legs. Very good.
On it. That work order you submitted is complete.
And the spider. It's fairly evasive. Doesn't have a whole lot of armor as a result, though. And all of its weaponry is in the center torso. So, I'm actually going to leave this as it is, armor-wise. Some might call that foolish, and you're welcome to your opinion, is what I have to say to that. Just another quick look at the Panther. Do I want to go up on armor anywhere here? I'll do it like so. I'll reorganize things here. Maximize the torsos. Yeah, that should be good. Actually, I can drop some armor off the left arm, since we don't really have anything being stored there. We can instead boost the strength of that right-hand torso. If we go down to 30, we can bring this up to 60. Go down by 2 points on the legs. That'll be fine. Yeah, this will be fine. I'm comfortable with this.
Right. I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
And similarly, just a quick another look at the Vindicator. Yeah, you're alright. No problems here. Well, actually, slight problems. I'd prefer to have 90 in the torsos rather than in the legs. As a matter of fact, I'll be perfectly comfortable taking you down to 70 and you up to 100. Yeah, there we go.
Logged and job's done, Commander.
Thanks, Yang. Now, whoever wants to rename these, please get your submissions in. This is going to be our starting lands. Feel free to name them as you so please. I'm not going to be too stingy about names in this run. Although we're likely going to be seeing these guys for a while, given how long I'm going to have to be assembling mechs for. And, yeah. Final order of business before we get into our first contract.
Yes, Commander.
Is we take a look at our mech warriors. 2-2 and 2-2-3 and 2, not the greatest. Bookish. Does that actually help us out in any way? Not necessarily.
Standing by.
I'm not sure if traits actually matter. In the vanilla game, they did in RogueTech, but I think that was due to a mod. Additionally, some of the skills are going to look different here. I'll touch on them in a moment. First, 3, 2, 4, and 2. Okay, 3, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, 3, 2, 2, 2.
Receiving you.
Okay, Wharf, 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay, none of these guys have spectacular gunnery, but Photon and Revolt are pretty decent. As for myself, I do have a couple of starting points that I can invest in perhaps sensor locking, which now is a skill that you get earlier. And, well, let's just say that evasion functions a lot differently in this game than it does in RogueTech. But our choices for skills are multi-target. That one remains the same. You can fire at multiple things. Breaching Shot, no longer tied to a piece of equipment, and Warlord is gone. It's a passive ability that assures that attacks with a single weapon ignore cover and guarded on target. And guarded functions a lot differently as well. So, Sure Footing is a passive ability. Mechs piloted by this mech warrior gain 1 bonus evasion charge after moving, so that stays the same. If the move is not a sprint, jump, or charge to melee, the mech also gains Entrenched, 50% stability damage reduction. And it is a passive? It is a passive. Ace Pilot, passive ability. We've seen it in... we've seen how that works already. Basically, move after shooting. It is no longer an initial ability that you can get, and is actually gated behind Sure Footing, which we might be investing in? I don't know. It's possible. Next, we have Bulwark. It's a passive ability that gives cover and guarded states, or cover and guarded states both provide 40% damage reduction rather than 20% damage reduction. So cover and guarded now stack together. They did not beforehand in the vanilla game. Cover acted as guarded. Rather than 20% damage reduction, cover and guarded together provide 60% damage reduction. Next. Coolant Vent. Active ability, this unit will remove 50 extra heat this round. For the next 3 rounds, however, this unit will gain an extra 8 heat. There is a 4-round cooldown. So, Sensor Lock, we know how this functions. Blorks was using it quite extensively. You lock down a mech, you remove 2 of its evasion charges. Now, additionally, in the vanilla game, evasion charges are removed by actually firing at mechs. So the more you fire at something, the less evasive it's going to get over time. This poses a number of problems for light mechs, but we'll touch on those maybe when I decide to review this game. Also, what am I saying maybe? That's what I'm going to do when I review this game in totality. Master Technician is a passive that mechs piloted by this mech warrior gain plus 1 initiative and remove 1 bar of stability damage when reserving. So that is somewhat changed from what it was in RogueTech. In RogueTech, I believe it provided extra resolve gain, but it didn't boost your initiative positioning any more than it did otherwise. So here I have a choice. What am I going to take? It's actually going to be Gunnery. And 1 point in Guts. I don't know if I can actually lose my company commander. I don't think that is possible, but you never know. And now, with all of that waffling out of the way, let us first take on... So, with that out of the way, let us first take on a nice and simple half-skull mission. What do we have available? Pretty stingy payouts. But we have a battle from the local pirate organization with which we can curry favor. Show of Force, I don't think we're able to take on. Also, it's an escort mission, so I'm not exactly too hot on that. Letter of Marque. So, basically, hunt down pirates. Local band of brigands. I'm assuming it's going to be a main unit and a secondary unit. But first, not knowing exactly how the difficulty is going to function on hardest difficulty, let us take the half-skull mission, and we're going to negotiate for... Okay, we can't actually affect the reputation slider anymore. Interesting. So yeah, I guess I'll be taking 85,000 sea bills and a pick of 1 salvage and 3 random. The mechs we're taking are, of course, going to be the Vindicator, the Panther, the Jenner, and I think the Spider. I'm going to hold on to the Commando for a little bit. Gunnery-wise, I'm going to throw myself into the Vindicator. Although I should be trying to min-max points, so You know, I'm going to do that. Throw all of these boys in. There, we'll do it like that. The guy with the smaller piloting skill is going to get the more heavily armored Jenner. Okay. Some of you may be wondering, what the heck is it with all these ants on the screen? And that is a filter that the developers decided to put into the game for God knows what reason. I'm not entirely certain of it, but no matter. Let's get going with our mission, and we start off in an Arctic biome. Very nice. I didn't actually pay much attention to this. Additionally, you may notice that the camera is much more zoomed in than it normally tended to be in RogueTech, and to that effect, I have a couple of things I actually need to do in here. So gameplay-wise, we're going to turn on the cameras again. We're going to turn off sped-up single-player combat, because I want to see if the cameras function any differently than they did beforehand. Yeah. Save that so far. Controls-wise, camera panning, I'm going to set that all to fast, because currently it's going a bit too slow. No need to invert the axes. Key bindings, I think, are fine the way they are. Video options I might tinker around with, just based off of the frame rates I might be getting in battles, because despite the fact that I have a pretty good graphics card, this game loves to eat data. Like, it's for some reason extremely intensive on resources. So I think the first thing is we're going to, if anything, turn down shadows to standard high setting. Same thing with the lighting quality, we're going to set that to high. Just get some extra frames. Effects, we're going to set them to high as well. I don't think we're going to need ultra completely enabled ambient occlusion anti-aliasing, which doesn't actually tell you what kind of anti-aliasing, but whatever. Reflections, sure, we can enable those. Bloom quality, high quality UI, motion blur is disabled because why would you ever have it on, and VSync is disabled. Okay. I don't think we got too many frames from that, and I really hope this didn't screw the recording. Because if it did, then, whoops. No matter. Right. What do we send in first? We send in Worf and the Spider. You're the fastest. Let's get you into a tree line.
Reporting enemy contact.
And oh yeah, this is another thing I forgot that happened.
Copy that.
Before you engage, you first have to get all of your units in position.
On my way.
God, everything moves so slowly without the sped-up animations. So yeah, you can no longer surprise attack people the way you were able to in the vanilla game. They've changed that. Let's see, does reserving get me anything? So far, so good. Let's see if one more reserve action gets us better results. Oh, look, it's a galleon. And see, there's one initiative point, or evasion point, being knocked out.
Receiving you.
So, Worf. You have a couple medium laser shots that you can take. You will take them. Oh, and everything has so much less armor than it did in the base game. And I need to remind... Oh boy. Remember, you don't have ace pilot on anything. Move first, shoot second.
Good to
things we're going to have to unlearn. Anyway, let's get ourselves into cover with the Jenner. It's going to take his time about it. Nope, I can't do it. It has to be sped up. It's just too lethargic otherwise. This thing is already fairly damaged. We have a Panther here. It's more evasive, but I want to shoot at it.
Giving him everything I've got.
Okay. And another thing I need to point out. All of our chances to hit, well, in the background, there is a system that skews your numbers if you're on a losing streak so that you actually hit more often, despite having poor numbers. And if you're doing too well, it'll occasionally throw in a random miss into the thick of things. So, this game doesn't have actual RNG anymore. It is instead like a quasi-gambler's fallacy system going on in the background.
Taking the shot. Crap. No joy.
Okay, slightly disappointing. If we move, do we get better numbers? We do. So I will move forward, and look, it's another Panther. Yeah, we have to shoot at this guy. Yeah, this is a problem.
That shot went internal.
Again, we'd prefer not to have had to deal with that, but, lol, whatever, I guess. Let's... Ooh, how far back can we move? If we stay over here, we should be out of gun range of that other Panther. And I think we can hopefully take this guy out. Yep, there we go. One less person firing back is always a good thing for us. Cool, he decides to jump and fire at the Jenner. No problems. I'm assuming, by the way, that this is going to be a heavy vehicle, but we're going to find out, I guess. Right, you don't have ace pilot. Actually move, you moron.
Confirmed.
Good job. You weren't an idiot. He says to himself. Do we give this guy vigilance? Or guarded and entrenched? Your next initiative is increased by 1. No, I'm gonna go for a precision strike. Right side torso. Precision strike, by the way, actually increases your chances to hit in this version of the game, rather than decreasing them and knocking someone back 1 initiative phase. It does, well, it still knocks them back in initiative phase, but it also gives you better numbers to hit. There we go, that's the shot we wanted earlier from Cuervo.
Yeah, Commander.
But we didn't get it. No matter. Let's move into the forest, keep ourselves defensive, and continue targeting down this Panther.
Receiving you.
I'm gonna put Worf all the way up here. This should give her maximum evasion charge. And due to the height advantage, it should give her better numbers to hit.
Here it comes.
And we took down an arm. Glad to see that the PPC missed the Jenner.
Damage minimal. Ready for orders.
Okay, yes, we're moving still. First things first, we're moving.
Moving out.
And now we're taking continued shots at this Panther. We hit a leg, it
Commander?
seems.
Moving out. Copy
How will
that.
this do now?
Scored a critical hit.
Nothing destroyed, but he is unsteady. And he chooses to jump and make life difficult for himself, but, you know, that's fine.
Commander?
We're perfectly alright with that.
Moving out.
Slight little motion over to there.
On it.
Continue focusing this guy down. Sure, we're missing a bit, but we're getting some hits in.
Connection on that one.
And we managed to evade most of those shots from the vehicle. Not sure what it is. I'm gonna sprint Worf along like that. Maximally evasive.
Firing a full salvo.
And she missed both of her shots. On a 50-50. Okay, I guess. Getting hit with a PPC in the arm, less than optimal.
Ready to get it on.
Cuervo. Can you actually move? You can. Let's position you here. What are we dealing with? A striker with SRM-6 and LRM-10. But we're still dealing with this guy. I should be using precision strike more often. There's no justification for me not to do so.
Standing by.
And so, on that note, let's charge up to here. And precision strike this guy in the torso already. Just get him down. Very good. He's out of there.
Target eliminated. What's up, boss?
Finally, we have this
On my way.
nonsense to deal with.
Firing on target.
Ooh, very good hit.
Waiting for
Now,
orders.
Worf. We don't want to get you too close to him, but we do want to give you 4 evasion. And then have you take your shot. Even missed shots are still good because you, well, skew people's evasion stats. And so far, I'm glad to see how this is going. It's not too encumbering on us. This will nearly overheat us, but it doesn't take us over the edge. Theory. Cool, left torso gone.
Scored a critical hit.
Do I have music turned off, by the way? Yeah. Let's turn up the master volume overall.
Yes, Commander.
No. Move first, shoot second.
On the move.
Oh yeah, and minimum ranges are much more important in vanilla than they were beforehand. Oh well, I guess we'll compensate for that by just precision striking maybe the noggin.
Affirmative.
That's also an acceptable outcome.
That's gonna hurt. Ready for orders.
And Revolt, you can move forward.
Copy that.
Take him out. That'll do.
Mech destroyed.
Okay. Overall, we're coming out of this not too shabby-like. That said, maybe the audio is a bit loud. There, we'll set it to that instead.
Commander.
You can move up to here.
Locking in all weapon systems.
And okay, we take some armor off the front.
Waiting for orders.
And I think we'll end things off by
Order received.
annihilating him. -1 medium laser.
I copy.
Okay, fine.
Awaiting
We're not
orders.
annihilating him. We're just thinking wishfully.
Moving to position.
Better.
One for the scrap heap.
Okay, and the pirates can start moving their people through the area. Alright.
Mission successful.
Not bad. Yep, payout of 85,000 as we negotiated for, and like, why do I even say this? We don't actually have drop costs we have to incur. Man, there's so much stuff I have to unlearn now. Anyway, 100 XP for everyone all around, nothing too stupendous. And we didn't lose anything, so that's good. I mean, of course, we sort of have to take additional unit salvage. Although a part of me thinks maybe an LRM-10 is a justifiable thing to take. Yeah, we'll take an LRM-10. We get a heatsink and some LRM ammo, so all's well that ends well. Okay, gonna quickly check something in the mech bay, and that is in regards to parts. We can scrap individual parts. Okay, so that's still a possibility. Well, another thing we have to do is manually repair and refit. Or do we? No. Okay, it saves our armor numbers from prior nonsense. Very nice. So the spider's in the mech bay for 1 day, which will allow us to immediately take on another mission. And unless I'm mistaken, we can only advance the days by pressing this button. The game does not advance unless we tell it to, so we can take as many contracts in a day as we potentially can. We have an assassination mission on hand. Do we take it, or do we take a letter of marque mission? Assassination missions should be the things we're going for, if we want to assemble mechs, so, you know, we'll take full salvage rights. It's for the planetary government. The Taurians are going to hate us a bit as a result, but I'm alright with being hated by the Taurians. And now we throw the commando in, and no fatigue. It's so nice. I can just keep throwing people into combat and not have to worry about PTSD. It's fantastic.
Command interface initiated.
This is also beneficial to us because it means we can just get them to rack up skills as fast as possible. Propaganda agent. Okay. You'll notice, by the way, that I tend to use this camera angle a lot more often in vanilla than I use, say, this angle. And that's because this makes targeting a lot easier because I don't have to, well, even at max zoom, you don't spot many things. Although I can just be using the tab button to select targets, so really what am I complaining about?
Moving to position.
Alright, everyone gets to move.
On the move.
None of this
On the way.
nonsense where we have to be waiting for people to catch up with us. It also makes looking at terrain somewhat more difficult. But I guess we'll deal. Okay, first enemy contact. Let's
Affirmative.
try to remain outside of their contact range.
Copy that.
Just move as far forward as we
On my
can.
way.
Alright, let's reserve down,
Waiting
let
for the
them
right
waste
move.
some actions.
Waiting for orders.
Very nice.
Heading out.
Hey, we have a couple more folk. Who's this first one? Locust, machine guns, and a medium laser.
Firing full complement on enemy.
Cool, we're dropping his evasive charges. We're eventually going to need someone with sensor lock, because sensor lock is much more important, I think, in this game than it was in RogueTech. No, that was a bad AC-5 shot.
Commander,
Or is it AC-10? I'm not entirely certain.
position confirmed.
Regardless of what the case may be, like that... unfriendly. Very unfriendly.
That's a miss.
And the target we need to assassinate is armed with LRMs. Oh, this is going to be hell.
Yes, Commander.
I don't like the fact that I already took that core torso hit. And an additional thing we can no longer do is sprint into position in order to do damage. Well, sprint and fire at the same time. These are exclusive things to each other now.
Like this.
Okay, we did manage to hit him finally.
Moving out.
I mean, we're not going to get much better targeting solutions on the guy with these folk, but...
Affirmative.
well... okay, so long as we can leg him, we're in business. Striker, leave the commando alone. Oh, Christ.
Armor blow through. Internal damage.
Worf.
Commander.
Let's try exposing only your side torso. Sure, we're exposing a bit of the rear, but...
Roger that.
we sort of have to make the best of it right now. Okay, they're not targeting the commando, and also the camera angles are still janky as all hell, so
What's up, boss?
not much has changed there. Let's not get into the high ground there. After all, there is an AC monster that we have to deal with. Striker or Locust? I think Locust.
Firing full complement on the enemy.
We already took down his evasion, and we now took out his left leg. So this should knock him down in the initiative phases. Yep, it does.
Aye, aye.
Injures pilot, as it of course should.
Affirmative.
And now we have a question we can pose ourselves. Do we continue targeting this guy down? I think so.
That's gonna hurt.
Come on. He gets back up. But he's missing a machine gun, so that's beneficial to us, I guess. Maybe I should have aimed at this. Maybe I could have taken him out. No
Good
matter.
to go. Heading out.
At some point, multi-target will be valuable. But for now, let's turn off the LRM. We don't need to use it on this guy. Also, the numbers are bad, so... let's primarily just deal with this guy by coring him out. And it's a Scorpion. Okay, that's what. Also, you'll notice that the autocannons sound a lot more piddly than they do in RogueTech. That guy's got some really accurate LRMs. Not a fan. Striker, let that man alone.
I'm taking internal damage. Let's hit him
Okay, he
hard.
made us unsteady.
Receiving you.
Worf,
that.
you'll move, lose some unsteadiness, although it's much harder to lose that now. Heck, you'll even get vigilance.
All weapons are go.
I think, if I'm correct, that removed your unsteadiness. Yes, it did. They just couldn't help themselves. Okay, so we've already lost one. Much to our chagrin. Striker, get out of here. Oh yeah, I forgot to move. Oh well.
Standing by. Move order confirmed.
Damn, this is problematic.
Roger that. Move her down.
Okay. Jesus. The AC-5. Get out of here.
What's up, boss?
So in the ongoing history of I hate commando mechs,
Position confirmed.
we just lost a pilot to a commando mech. Let's see if we get to keep her. After, well... Let's see if we at all get to see her survive. If not, whatever.
Firing.
Oh boy. Okay, Cuervo. Why not just attack the rear armor of this guy?
Targeting for an alpha strike.
Yes,
Cool.
Commander.
Next, let's remember we need to keep you out of range so that your PPC actually functions, but it doesn't. We did hit the head, so that's a plus. Let's see what he does now. Ow! Nearly lost an arm.
Ready for orders.
Let's see if we can try to cover for him by putting the Vindicator out forward. Obstruct the line of fire a bit. Okay. He did choose to fire at the Vindicator, thankfully.
Damage is light.
Waiting for orders.
Okay, Cuervo. Nah, let's not overheat you.
Firing on rear arc.
I'm gonna need to replace a mech soon, or a mech warrior. And a right arm, because they just can't help themselves. Come on.
Awaiting orders. Moving out.
Just
Copy
destroy that rear torso already. There we are. That's what was supposed to happen to begin with.
File removed.
Oh boy. Okay.
Receiving you.
Revolt, I think you're just gonna stand still and precision strike this thing into the ground. See if you can get that side armor.
Giving 'em everything I got.
Sort of. And the LRMs. Jeez, why does he have to be so accurate with indirect fire?
Minimal.
Come on.
Aye, aye. Heading out.
Okay, let's try exposing the left-hand side. Maybe that'll do something for us. Heck, even precision striking. Did we get him? No. Close, though.
Commander.
Boom.
Confirmed.
Very nice.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Cool, if he wants to fire at us now, he's gonna have a much more difficult time of it.
Confirmed.
Now the moving into position phase of combat. Reserve, let him move first. Cool, he's
for orders.
not doing a whole lot. What about a jump? No, doesn't get us as far as a sprint.
Full speed. No target. Aye, aye.
Jump and help you out any? No,
Roger that.
it really doesn't.
Commander.
What about you? How far can you sprint? Much farther than you can jump. Okay.
Double time. Let's go.
Ah, it's a trebuchet.
Yes, Commander.
Right, this is going to be a bit odd. I forgot that I can't sprint and shoot at the same time. So we'll try it like that.
Coordinates received.
Let's try precision striking, knock him down a peg.
Target confirmed.
Headshots, hopefully.
Target damaged. Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Fortunately, it's going to be pretty easy to destroy this guy's weaponry. If we can just, move close enough forward,
Going
but
to
we
full
can't.
throttle. Yeah, Commander.
We'll expose
On
the
my way.
Vindicator
Double time.
so that maybe he shoots at the Vindicator. Okay, he just chooses not to shoot at us.
Holding.
I shouldn't have reserved.
Orders.
Well, what this allows me to do is shoot for free now, and then move and shoot later. So I'll do that.
Awaiting orders.
Panther, move a bit up like that. Boom.
Giving him everything I've got.
Okay.
Commander,
Revolt. Yeah, just, get a clear line of fire.
on my way. Confirmed.
Okay.
Our target is bugging out.
Target's bugging out. Where is his, extraction zone? Yeah, we have time.
Standing by.
No, move first, then shoot later.
Locking on target.
Let's see if we can get the torso off. Yeah, we got one of them. Not the one I thought it was going to be, but we
Target's
did
taking
get
a
one of
critical
them.
hit.
All he's left with is one medium laser. This is, more or less acceptable in my book.
On the move.
Panther, your turn next. Good, he is weaponless.
Scored a critical hit.
Now, Revolt. I was hoping you could precision strike his head, but,
Waiting for orders.
I can take this shot,
Roger
sure.
that.
Maybe if we can leg him.
Who's next?
Yeah, let's try legging him.
Copy that.
I think we got the torso. No, we didn't.
Commander,
Interesting.
copy that.
Um,
Affirmative.
sure. Cool, we got the leg. Is this going to be the kill? Pilot just injured. Okay.
Good to go.
In that case, headshot?
Locking on target.
And of course it hits the core torso. It's to be expected, I guess.
I hope we can salvage that.
Yeah, that mission went a bit poorly. They got a lucky shot on the core torso of the commando, and we're about to lose a pilot.
Mission successful.
Not only are we likely to lose a pilot, we do get a bit of a contract bump. Injured for 94 days. She survived! Well done, Worf. Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to salvage this one, though. So, yeah, we can't reassemble. We're going to take a trebuchet part. Do we take an AC-5? I think, honestly, we could take a medium laser, because we're hurting for that right now. Cool, we got 2 mediums and a large laser. Trebuchet Locust. The large laser, I think, was provided by me, so, Yep, Commando has been destroyed and cannot be recovered. That's the setting we went for. And mech bay, quickly. Let's refit this thing because we did lose a couple things on it. Fortunately, it keeps our former settings. Large laser, I don't think we have the room for. Yeah, we don't. Though we can throw back the medium lasers. We can do that. So yeah, heat efficiency is back to being garbage. We could potentially solve that by removing a jump jet and throwing on one of the brand new heat sinks we got. We'd have to drop armor for that, so screw that noise. And 9 days.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
Task management, nothing else needs to be repaired. Armor is repaired for free these days. So, it's one thing that's nice about the vanilla game. Despite the fact that the game cheats and helps you cheat. You don't have to worry too hard. Now, contracts-wise, we're not too interested in taking anything on. Certainly not a 1.5 skull mission. And we're loath to try taking on this 1 skull mission. That said, I mean, it could be worthwhile. But I'll leave that decision for another episode. I'll call this episode here. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription, or do whatever else you feel is good. Heck, leave us some feedback. Tell us what you want to see in the next episode of the series. Should I be taking on the mission here, the 1 skull mission? Or should I be going into another system and trying to look for more half skull missions in order to just build up a bit of a cache base and salvage base in order to be able to properly re-equip a now near disastrously small lance. We no longer have a safety mech. This is all we've got. So, leave us your suggestions. That having been said, I am Smastian. I'll see you on the battlefield, and have a good day.